Hey everybody, guess what? We are back. This is African Frame Podcast. I'm not alone as usual. I'm with Rob Sibeko. He's a writer, a world builder, a book author, film director, and he has a book out called Jin's War. As you can see on his background over there, that's the cover of his book. Do check it out. It's available on, I believe it's Google, right? Google Play. Yes, for $50. So do check that out. He also has other books. I'll leave links in the description below. But what are we? We are African Frame. What we do is discuss anything film related, whether it's full length movies, whether it's TV series, whether it's film trailers, box office reviews, um, box office results rather, and box office predictions. That's what we do. So anything film related, we are your guy. We are your duo. And we're gonna be doing our weekly picks. So what this is basically our take on the movies that we've watched. We're just gonna be doing quick reviews of them. Anyway, Rob, what do you have for us?
All right, cool. I decided to go for the Christmas special, Red One. I figured, I was behind schedule, so let me just watch something that doesn't require a brain, that you can literally do something else and then come back and you wouldn't have missed anything. That would definitely describe Red One. I actually think it's actually let me be nice. It's actually a surprisingly better movie than you'd think it would be. Okay, first of all, it's a painful waste of J.K. Simmons. He shows up, he does nothing, he's gone. It's kind of heartbreaking, but I still like him. It's still J.K. Simmons. The few moments you get in the opening act with him are still enjoyable. He does every job, even when playing Santa, pretty well. The CGI kind of lets me down in this one. There are times where you can definitely see this is a green screen. That's always disappointing, but it's fine. It's whatever. Still enjoy the opening act. I like the chemistry between The Rock and J.K. Simmons. The scenes are weirdly drawn out in a weird, difficult to explain way in the opening scenes, but I could tell what they were trying to do. Still kind of enjoyed what they were trying to do. So the setup between the Rock working for J.K. Santa Claus, The Rock being an elf, or in this specific case, an ELF, which is an enforcement bureau, kind of like a Secret Service type situation. And then you get this big heist, which actually comes together rather well. Again, the CGI hurts my eyes, but I actually enjoyed the overall of it. I would say this movie, for a Netflix film, goes surprisingly hard. So well done for them for that, honestly. I thought the fun and game segment, the gap between Act 1 and Act 2, basically the opening of Act 2, for those film lovers, that was pretty decent with the snowman. Again, wasn't a fan of the CGI, but I did enjoy the action. It was very cliche, very straightforward, but I still had fun with it. It's like if you know what you're getting, you have fun with it. I would say the actual pacing and the storyline are a failure, whereas I feel like the actors keep the thing going. So,
All right.
even though The Rock is probably not the greatest actor of all time, I still think he kept the flow of the storyline. I wasn't like, oh no, The Rock is slowing everyone down. So The Rock played The Rock, but he was all right. It was very, I want to say, Fast 5 Rock. And a lot of people kind of like Fast 5 Rock. I would say he's playing that Rock in this one.
Yeah.
Which is all the same Rock, but still, I feel like you can still notice enough to stand out. Again, dialogue wasn't actually that bad. I enjoyed some of the moments they all had with each other. I hated the kid. Didn't have to be there. Main character could have learned empathy in another way. I would have enjoyed that. Got rid of the wife, got rid of the kid. Still would have been a good story in my opinion.
You hated the kid?
Yeah, just a waste of time. Didn't have to be there. It felt extra.
Okay.
Like, I bet you all those scenes were shot in one day, especially with the wife. Probably all shot in one day.
The kid as an actor or the character of the kid?
The character of a kid, not the actor himself.
Okay.
He played a role that was accidentally put in, and he did that fine. No problems there. I would say lucyliu was probably phoning it in, but The Rock was playing The Rock, and Chris Evans, I think he was doing his best. It reminded me of Cellular, Chris Evans. I don't know if you remember Cellular.
I know Cellular very well.
Yeah, with Jason Statham as the bad guy. So funny enough, again, generic Netflix film. I still like it, and I think it, in terms of generic Netflix films, it beats the Jamie Foxx one by far, actually. So I would rank it above the Jamie Foxx one, but below. What is the movie I did last week again? It was, that's how memorable it is. So, but below that one, so yeah, above Jamie Foxx, below the other one. So I put it, so far this one is second place of the films. Jamie Foxx seems to be doing badly for my list right now for the year. Yeah. In terms of Netflix, it's a 7 to 8 out of 10. But in terms of my tough movie criteria for this whole thing, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. And that's me.
Okay. I think the movie that you're talking about was Sonic 3.
Sonic 3, there we go.
Yeah.
This was not as good as Sonic 3, but better than Jamie Foxx.
Okay, I also watched the movie. I think I do understand what you're saying about The Rock being Fast Five Rock, but I still think Fast Five Rock is his best performance, and then maybe Faster is the second best performance. But I wouldn't really put him exactly on that level. But he does take his job seriously, or rather, he took this role seriously.
Yes.
So there is a difference when you see The Rock playing a role seriously than when he is being The Rock. You know, when you can see the effort that he actually puts in some of the roles, and in this one, he really put in the effort. But I don't think he understood what this movie was, because it seems like him and Chris Evans had different understanding of what this movie is. Because Chris Evans, like you're saying, is like cellular, but cellular Chris Evans was a bit serious. I would say it's a mixed bag between serious Chris Evans in cellular and also the losers / Fantastic Four Chris Evans.
Yeah, because I actually saw some clips of the Fantastic Four, and I forgot how good Chris Evans was in that, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, he was a lot of fun. He was
No, the actors, honestly speaking, the actors were not the issue.
Yeah, they were not the issue. It was the actual writing itself. It was like it was like written by AI almost, because it was a culmination of those types of movies. Everything that happens in those types of movies happens exactly the same in that movie.
Right. So I get where you're coming from. I also felt a bit disappointed by J.K. Simmons. I feel like it's as if whenever he gets in shape for a movie, that movie is not gonna go anywhere for his roles, because he did the same thing with Jim Gordon, and that didn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget Chris Pratt one. He also the Chris Pratt one, not Edge of Tomorrow. I forgot what the movie is called, but the one where they go into the future. And then they have to fight the aliens. And then it turns out that J.K. Simmons is Chris Pratt's dad. And he's like a prepper. Oh, you never seen this movie?
No.
You might like it. It's on the same level as these ones, but with aliens.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's Chris Pratt as the main good guy. So I think you might. I think you'd like it. I think it's better than this one, in my opinion, in terms of overall writing. In terms of originality, just as unoriginal. But
I mean, they try their best to give him some time to shine at the end, but it just feels forced. Like they're really trying very hard to make us believe that this one man is able to deliver Christmas presents throughout the world in one night, and they show you how he actually does it. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a style. It's a style of writing where you try to take things incredibly seriously on purpose, and then sometimes it works. I feel like they could have gone even further, but that's its own thing. Before we run out of time, let's do your movie, man.
All right, cool. So Mnet, ETV, SABC One. What are we talking here?
Definitely a SABC One. SABC One on a Sunday. Slightly better, but definitely not an Mnet movie. This is not Mnet at all.
Jesus. Okay. All right. No, I understand. So mine is actually Anora. So Anora is a movie that came out in 2024 as well, and it basically focuses on a young escort from Brooklyn who meets this impulsively, like this Russian kid who's very rich, right? This guy basically sees her at this strip club, and they sort of have a great time, and he basically just wants to spend more time with her. Right, one thing leads to another. Eventually, they get married in Vegas, and now the godfather of this kid starts learning that, okay, this guy got married impulsively in Vegas, and it appears that this kid's parents are filthy rich in Russia, and this might tarnish the family name.
Mm.
So like it starts off just up with them just partying, and midway through it turns into this high-paced, like everything is just really fast-paced because they really need to get the marriage annulled, and everybody's just losing their minds because it's crisis management on steroids, and it becomes hilarious. Yeah, a lot of things are unexpected. This film is it's like hyper realistic from beginning to end, in my opinion. It's as if it doesn't even feel like a movie. It feels like it's a documentary. It feels like you're looking at these people through a lens and like an invisibility cloak or something. Most of the scenes are hyper realistic. Nothing feels forced. Nothing feels cheap. Everything feels super realistic. And the performances of everybody are actually impeccable. I don't want to lie to you. So the cast includes Mikey Madison. So this lady plays she has like a Brooklyn accent in this one, so she plays someone from Brooklyn. It also has Paul Wisman, and it has a couple of Russian people as well. And some of these names are hard to pronounce, but I have to give them at least some recognition. One of them is Karen Karagulian. I think he's Armenian. And then there's Vache Tovmasyan. And then I think the kid's name, okay, there's also Sebastian Connolly, but then the main kid's name is a bit hard to pronounce. So you guys might have to forgive me if I butcher this guy's name. But his name is Mark Edelstein. Mark Edelstein.
Oh, that's a strong name. Okay.
Yeah, so for me, he really stands out, but he disappears for the majority of the second act. But everybody else has their time to shine.
Okay.
Comedic, violent, fast-paced to a certain degree. Well, especially in the second to third act, hyper-realistic. And for some reason, you just really love this lady, the main character, Mikey Madison's performance, Anora, because on one hand, you understand why she's so adamant to make sure that this marriage doesn't get annulled, but at the same time, you're like, no, this marriage should get annulled because first of all, you're a sex worker. You know what I mean? But
So
at the
she's
same
trying
time,
to
you're
fight
like,
them. Okay, so the premise is she's trying to stay married.
she's trying to stay married.
But the come up, or what?
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying that for on one end you're like,
Yeah.
no, this marriage should get annulled because do you really love this guy?
Of course not.
On the other hand, which is basically what the family is saying. They're like, dude, you cannot marry a sex worker. There's no way this person probably doesn't love you, bro. Like just wants your cash through divorce or whatever. You know what I mean? She's gonna get half. But on the other hand, you're like, maybe there is something here between these
Really
two people. You know what I mean?
intense. How long do they
Pardon?
know each other, Kanti? How long do they know each other?
So, minor spoiler, but he basically hires her for like a week after they sort of like have a few moments together.
Oh.
He hires her to be his girlfriend for like a week, and he gives her like 10K or 15K for that week. And in that week, because they have such a great time, he's like, you know what? Perhaps the best way for me to stay in America, right, and not go back to Russia and work for my dad is for me to get married.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's how the whole marriage thing came to be. But then it seemed like there might be something more to this than just that.
All right. No, no spoilers. It sounds good.
Yeah. So I really, really enjoyed it. The first half of this movie just like it's a nothing burger. Nothing is happening. You're just seeing these two people blowing money and just yeah. It's like imagine you having a best friend from Silicon Valley who's a billionaire and you're spending the weekend with him. And
And they're
yeah,
stretching.
they're just splurging, bro. It's just party after party, snorting coke, going to different places, swimming, having lots of sex. playing
Okay.
games and all of that.
And it,
And then the movie just switches, like from that moment they get
action.
married. There is action, but it's not fight
But it's not
choreography
an
action.
action film. Okay.
It's moments where someone is afraid and they're trying to run away, but someone else has to now stop them from
Yeah.
running away. So it's that kind of action,
Okay.
and stuff is thrown around because I don't want you to touch me or whatever. It's that kind of action, but like I said, it's hyper realistic. Some scenes are quite there might be a bit too much for people who are not ready to see such. But I think one thing I've realized about foreign actors is they don't really mind going all the way through with their films. Like
Okay.
actors, some of these actors, like whether it's Norwegian or whatever, they don't mind a lot doing a lot of stuff to actually portray the character that they're portraying. So, yeah, man, it's a brilliant watch. I highly recommend it. This would be an Mnet movie, but it would be an Mnet movie that plays late at night, probably like at 11 or something or 10 p.m.
Okay.
But
Not
also
a.
it would then go to ETV
Mm, yeah.
after a
Sounds like.
few
Yeah.
years.
It sounds like
Yeah,
an
I don't see it ever being on SABC, to be honest.
maybe SBC.
Unless if it's one of those rare occasions where, for some reason, SABC allowed it to fly on TV.
All right.
Yeah, so I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's big. Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, that's Anora. I don't know if you have other questions or if there's
Ah,
anything else.
questions, man.
Yeah, but I highly recommend it. It's one of those movies I think you could casually watch. Don't take it too seriously. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's just a moment in time where stuff like this probably happens on a whim, on a random Tuesday in America, in New York somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so that is our weekly picks. Let us know if you've watched any of these movies. Let us know if you like any of them. Let us know if you're keen to watch any of them. Let us know what your ratings would be, whether you agree or disagree with us. And we shall see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. This is African Frame. I'm Mr. Troden, and that is Rob Sriveko. Cheers. Mama.